for him. A lot of openers in domestic cricket. The middle order finishers and those guys who can score that run a ball if needed, or 12 and over. Not as obvious.
You think that one aspect of Sandlin's has been the maturity he's shown in seeing off those. He's very calm at the crease, in control. A real character trait that selectors look for, and especially when transferring to the red ball game. Is there a possibility that he can transfer that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, going down. I think that's the thing with Sam Billings. We said at the top of the show that he's been around a long time, but he's not played a run of games in any format. He mixes a good cocktail from all the drinks that he's been carrying. So at the end of last year, we saw in first-class cricket, when he got a run of games, how destructive he could be. That's got to be his mission now. Runs your only currency as a batsman.
Plays away nicely. I think it should be a couple. Long chase for it there. Fine leg boundary. Just finish off what I was saying before about the Australian one-day trip. That's not been fully confirmed as yet. Very likely that all of that is going ahead. Before too long, we should have some confirmation. If so, it should be a series to look forward to. And a good finish for the overs. Bowling nicely is Craig Young. 5 overs, 124 for Tim. Well, it's the final day in a lot of the Bob Willis Trophy games happening around the country. Gloucestershire just managed to overtake that huge first innings total against Worcestershire at Bristol. 214 for 6. Worcestershire on the hunt for those final 4 wickets. Somerset have already beaten Glamorgan comfortably by 289 runs down at Taunton. A big century from Adam Rossington helping Northants towards safety, heading towards a draw at Edgbaston. In the North Group, Derbyshire, 177 more to win at Trent Bridge. Intriguing into the game there. Yorkshire easing towards victory at Chester Street. Nice moment for Chris Rushworth in that game, taking his 500th first-class wicket. Leicestershire, Mighty Foxes could be undoing Lancashire at Worcester. Looking for 4 more wickets. Lancashire lead 79 runs in their second innings. Tasty one at Chelmsford as well. Kent Essex 94 more runs to win with 6 wickets in hand. Surrey, not the best start in pursuit. 314 to win, 55 for 3. And Sussex, excellent performance by Ollie Robinson. Really looking forward to seeing him make the next step up. 8 wickets in the game for Ollie Robinson. They won by 94 runs over Hampshire.
Loving the Bob Willis Trophy. I tell you what, I quite like the way that it's structured. And also, you've now got, this is such an opportunity for the second division clubs, or the teams that have been in there this year, would have been there this year. So Sussex have already beaten Hampshire. It's a big win for them. Speaks for Hampshire, but Leicestershire got a chance.
Strictly speaking, the old teams of the
Most teams has been great.
You'd think Steve Fitter.
Players as well.
Not quite timed it, Morgan. Might be enough though. Long chase. Josh Little gets beaten by ball 4 to Morgan. His second boundary concludes the 6th over, 28 for 2 England. Glorious weather on the south coast here. Slightly off the south coast, but not far at all. Siders Field. Just a reminder that both England openers parted fairly cheaply as well.
Middle, thank you.
The Bairstow's pyrotechnics in the second one-day international. Done by Nick Backer from Market, returning to the island side. Found the space. Smeared away by Morgan. The ricochet still might make it go to the boundary. It does. Definitely found his timing in that one. While staying in the bubble for these players, many of whom will return back to their counties to take part in that Bob Willis Trophy.
It's good nowadays. You can look on Twitter, can't you? You can see some clips of who's got runs in the championship on the Bob Willis Trophy.
Oh, wonderfully from Morgan. It sat up begging for the beans. And that was the treatment that Morgan gave to it.
Even Owen Morgan's going to take confidence from that shot. Any surface, you just want to see what the short ball is doing. Put it away like that, you're going to feel comfortable. A player I saw as well, playing for Surrey, Jamie Smith. Have a look on there on Surrey's Twitter feed.
A little early that time, Morgan. End of 7. 39 for 2.
Lost both openers, cheating. Jason Roy, who been in the prime. No crickets in. Bairstow looking to take the game to Markadere, has found himself back in the dressing room as well. Skipper Owen Morgan's come out at number 4 for the first time. With his side in a little bit of trouble. Decent stop for the Green Machine, Niall O'Brien.
The Green Machine. Thanks, Butch. Well, a couple of wickets. Great reward there. A certain competitive edge about a marker there.
Morgan's not going to take a backward step. It's flying down pitch at Adair and smeared that one through mid-wicket before.
Gets his innings going. Marker there just operating around the 80-mile-an-hour mark. So it's not going to worry the England skipper. Thick inside edge. Didn't like it. Initial call was 2, but the modern-day batsman, the modern-day bat, going all the way to the boundary.
Talk about the modern-day bat, Niall. Just look how hard Owen Morgan swings it. It's absolute kitchen sink. I reckon even with one of the old planks that I had back. Tidy finish to the 8th over, 44 for 2. From 28 balls between Vince and Morgan. Oh, that's a beauty. What a delivery that is. There was no reaction from the bowler initially. Big reaction from behind the stumps. Bernie is going upstairs.
Third umpire to director. Thank you. Yeah, can we? There's a clear spike on the bat of your decision to out. You're on screen now.
Well, Martin Saggers has had to reverse his decision. Craig Young didn't spot it from his end, which gives you an idea about how difficult it was for the umpire to pick it up. The bowler himself didn't hear a thing, but the Ireland skipper absolutely convinced, and it's another defining moment in the career of James Vince. He's gone for 16, it's 44 for 3.
Wow, wonderful. Craig Young. It's a good ball. Nips back this time. A little bit of nip back. James Vince didn't do a great deal wrong, to be fair. Simple catch. That's a massive wicket. Not just in this game, but in the career of James Vince. Craig Young, well, that's good reward. He's bowled well, he's bowled with good pace. He's had a good series, Craig Young.
Yeah. It's just another example, isn't it? It's just so frustrating watching James Vince. Just that straight front leg again, didn't really go forward, didn't really go back, just sort of braced the front knee, poked the hands at it, and that movement nipped it back through the gate. Very similar to his dismissal in the last game. Tom Banton. Just the 6 matches in one-day international cricket, has yet to fire, yet to spark in the 50-over game. A lot of fans around the country, though, we've seen him in the blast for Somerset. Help put a partnership with his captain, get into the contest, give himself a chance to make a score.
I was going to ask about that, Butch. The England way, the England mantra for 3 or 4 play a natural. Morgan wants to play any differently than normal.
Yeah, but as Brookie said, very different batting at 5. When you're 3 down for 40 than it is walking up there first with nothing else on game. That's what he's done all his career. He walks out there first, smashes it. There's no pressure from the scoreboard at that point in the match. There is now.
You make a good point, Butch, about dismissal in game 2. Nip back through the gate, clean bowl. That's nip back, front foot not getting in a wonderful position. A little prod forward, feather through. Good, Craig Young. That's what I want to see Ireland do more against Morgan, especially early on. You've got to get 2 or 3 short balls at all Morgan's, around that shoulder, around that head, ideally in his first 5-6 balls. It's tricky now because Morgan's in 22 off 21. He's already played a really dismissed pull shot against Craig Young. Once he's in, he's a good player at a short ball, but early in his innings, you've got to get the short ball right.
Shot, that's magnificent. Morgan has just stroked that through, extra cover for 4.
Sometimes you're watching a bloke, it looks too easy. This is a long, hard volley. Morgan just gets in a decent position. Weight transfer is good. Loves batting at this ground on Morgan. Loves batting against Ireland, truth be told. Put the combination together and Ireland need him out.
There is the short ball. That's taken the helmet of Owen Morgan. He'll be taking invasive action, so the leg bye will stand. But yeah, got himself into a bit of tangle there, as Niall O'Brien suggested he might. I'm just going to have to go through the concussion protocol now. Physiotherapist will come onto the ground and just run through a few questions to Morgan. I doubt that there's any problem there at all. It was a bit of a glancing blow. But process is process, protocol is protocol, and England have 50 on board.
Yeah, bad blow that, to be fair. Played poorly. Took his eyes right off the ball. Got a right clunk on the sweep. And Owen Morgan.
Yeah, I think the ball probably would have passed a foot above the stumps, foot and a half maybe. Didn't bounce as much as Owen Morgan suspected it might. And I think he's fine.
He's a tough doubler. They make him tough for us from home. He's grand. Not a bother. Big knock for Tom Bannon as well. Butch, talented lad, we all know about that. This is an opportunity. He needs to grasp it like Sam Billings has done.
Yeah, absolutely. He's young enough that failures at this point in his career are not terminal, or at least they don't raise the same sort of questions as they might if he was in the age bracket and the experience bracket of James Vince. But, you know, I have to reiterate, he's playing a role that he doesn't play for Somerset. The role that gets him picked is as a devastating.
Bernie, I'll be getting Curtis Camphor on. It's worthwhile getting Curtis Camphor on against Tom Banton while he's new to the crease. 50 for 3. You think Ireland are pretty happy. Bowling first, which is normally Ireland's preference, Butch. Have a bowl first and chase runs. That's what Ireland like to do. That's what I would like to have seen them done the first couple of games. Choosing the bat first. Actually came two on a used pitch.
Yeah, for Owen Morgan, including I suppose they're sponge, they're absorption pads for the inside of the helmet that perhaps help with the fit. Also gather a bit of sweat from the brow as well. Morgan's not happy. He's not got the right fit. Have a look at the dismissals of James Vince in this series so far. He's young in the first line of the ball. Again, straight front leg, no real movement forward, head being forward, no issue with that at all. But I think somebody that pushes forward a little bit more, bends into the ball a little bit more, would have found that going off inside edge for one square leg.
Well, his left foot, James Vince, went in exactly the same position for every 3 dismissals. About 6 inches outside the popping crease, and then just played with the hands. You've got to get your body, I'm not saying you have to take a massive stride, but you've got to get your body more into the ball. Lead with the head and the body will follow. At the moment, James Vince's head staying back and his front foot's going 6 to 8 inches outside the crease and just playing at the ball. It's not going to work. Might work in county cricket, won't work at international level.
Right, the end of a long 9th over, 50 for 3.
Bowling, left arm over.
Giving some demerit point.
Yeah. And this role suits Josh a little better. Competitive lad. Never through, but I think there was a bit either way. I think Johnny Bersa was looking for a bit of aggro to get himself going.
A wild swish from Banton. Left arm angle again, it just confuses the right-handers.
Well, England needs to be careful here, because about 20 minutes or half an hour here, they sit down. Keep the foot down, keep pushing.
I think that's a difficult decision. Wasn't a great deal on offer for the finger spinners of either side. Moeen Ali hasn't really managed to get the ball to bite. It's only been Adil Rashid that's seen any sort of turn and grip purchase on these surfaces at the Aegeus. Pressure. Oh, that's high class. Not without risk, but high class from Banton.
Too wide. Good hands with Banton. Lets the ball come right into him. Watch this, plays this nice and late. Beautiful timing, beautiful placement. Doesn't try to overhit the ball. Classy stroke.
Well, that's even better. Might not make it all the way. Big old boundary out there to extra cover. It does have the legs. That is supreme timing from Tom Banton.
Cracker. Right up on his toes. Keep himself a little bit of room. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful time. Beautiful placement. Full value here at the Aegeus ball. Good outfield. Plenty of boundaries so far. Banton's picked up 2. Morgan's got 6 to his name already.
That was wide. That really was a sucker ball from Little. Banton survives. 10 gone. Another power play. 59 for 3.
Entertaining power play. Again, Jason Ward for the 3rd time. Very young, takes him out. He's got one away early. Customary beautiful drive by James Vince. Johnny Bersa looked to go big too early. Dragged him back on to the leading place of marker there. The captains look good though for England. Put the bad ball away, dismissive of the short ball. Good review. Andrew Barber sent it upstairs, a little feather. James Vince had to go.
Okay, good luck to you and guys.
Thank you.
Oh, and in you come. Yeah, you're about right there. That will do perfectly. What would you have done if you'd have won it?
We would have bowled first. It's worked the last 2 games. It does look a lot better today, but we would have bowled first just because it's worked.
Have you made any changes today?
Yeah, we had 1 force change. We stopped the unfortunately picked up a little bit of a groin niggle in the previous game. Tom Curran comes into him.
You say force change. Were you thinking about perhaps giving 1 or 2 opportunities to a couple of squad players that hadn't played?
Yeah, we were. I think the guys who have come in have been really, really impressive so far. Dave Willie, probably in particular with the new ball, has managed to find inroads early, which is obviously one of his best attributes. So you find yourself hard to leave guys like that out. And I think given that the circumstances surrounding COVID and selection at the moment, we are already presenting huge opportunities to grow the squad, hopefully deeper and stronger. So there are plenty of changes and opportunities that lie ahead.
Okay, good luck again. Good luck to you and the team.
When the world stands still, they are pushing forward. Our heroes will be right there on the field.
away for his first, so he won't come back for 2 after the fumble.
Decent plan. Short ball to Morgan.
On it. Get over the head of Adair.
Very good, Josh.
Put out in the second ODI, top edging a pull shot to a ball that wasn't short enough. Almost his undoing again.
And this is a big wicket ball for Josh Little. The short ball, the aggressive short ball, gets a lot of wickets with it. Great work, Gareth Delaney. Good support in the field. Ireland need more of that. Ireland need to really work hard here. Couple more wickets. Left-hander strong zone, square to the wicket on the offside. Good support by the youngster.
Yeah, the intent and the intention were good.
Yeah, thank you.
Just ballooning over the head of Morgan. David Milne signalling wide from square leg.
Yeah, but it's a good bouncer. You always, as a captain, William Porterfield, you say, if you're going to err on the high side, don't get it, chest high, because that's easy to hit. Right there!
That's the gambler in Owen Morgan. The calculation went through his head. He's just bumped me. The next one's going to be up there. I'm charging him. Brilliant to watch these guys and sort of read their thought processes.
Well, Martin Saggers' ODI debut. Former Kent and Durham, and then ended up down in Chelmsford and Essex. Fine swing bowler. Lovely wicket keeper. Lovely bowler to keep wickets in. Lovely little feathers you just get through for me.
Oh, that's out of here. That's the chest-high bumper that Niall O'Brien was talking about, and it has been dismissed by England's captain.
It's a big boundary. Leg side for Owen Morgan. Great backlift. He never tries to keep that down. He only has one thing on his mind here, Owen Morgan. That's going for a maximum. Bosh.
Rates up above 6.5 now for England.
Yeah.
More bold.
One more.
One of the greatest of all time, Daniel Cormier.
His fight for legacy, his fight for everything. I want to be remembered as one of the greatest fighters of all time. I have to win this fight.
Steve Miocic, the most accomplished UFC heavyweight champion this octagon has ever seen.
Being the UFC champion is everything to me. Walking out my belt. And still.
This is the fight that settles it all.
Out there with the man who's giving the orders and saying, no, mate, I just want you to keep going. The perfect partner for a young lad making his way in the 50-over game.
Well, now the young man.
That settles it all.
Out there with the man who's giving the orders and saying, no, mate, I just want you to keep going. The perfect partner for a young lad making his way in the 50-over game.
Well, now the young man has made a real impression in this Royal London ODI series. Born and bred in South Africa. A lot was made of that pre-series, but being dismissed now. Fantastic start to his career. Back-to-back 50s and 3 poles at 25. Oh, run. Bustly kind of bowler, butch, energetic. Not a tall chap, but seems to generate decent pace. That's 84 miles an hour for a fairly shortish chap.
Yep. And at that sort of height, you have to bowl every ball like it's your last. Charge in, hit the crease as hard as you can, try and hit the pitch as hard as you can. Can't float any up there when you're 5'11".
He just beat me to it there, Morgan. I was just thinking he's got a charge of one of these balls here. 40 off 33. Taking the attack to Ireland.
Just move that first slip wider. Paul Sterling's about fourth slip.
Well, this is the contest. Banton against Camphor. 3 out of 3 so far, Butch.
Yeah, he's been a real fly in Tom Banton's ointment.
When does that become a real issue mentally? When you
flies in the ointment.
The same bloke keeps getting you out time and time again.
It's not much fun in a test series, that's for sure.
Right for him, maybe throw some Richard McGrath, maybe would he be in your head there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of the trio that I played a lot of test matches against. McGrath, Gillespie, Warren. I mean, they're all going to get you at some point, right?
There's 3 handy bowlers in there.
I was always generous. I like to share it around. Let them all have a go.
You weren't picky?
Mark Waugh, get out to him as well.
Mark Waugh?
Yeah, bowling off spin. The Oval in 97. Just get out to all of them, then you don't have a problem.
Right!
13 done, 80 for 3. Here are the
MPL ऐप फ्री में डाउनलोड कीजिए और जीतिए आकर्षक इनाम रोजाना। यही नहीं, पाइए गारंटीड 5% रिफंड अपनी एंट्री फी पर।
डाउनलोड करो mpl.live से।
Watch WWE Superstars in action. WWE Raw every Tuesday, live at 5:30 a.m. and repeats at 9 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. on Sony 10.1 and Sony 10.3. Pakistan Tour of England, live on Sony 6.
Right there.
To answer your question, Richard Isaacs, our splendid statistician, has just told me that McGrath was 9 times.
I only played Glenn McGrath once at Southgate. I thought he was pretty handy to face. Back in 2004, I think he was coming back from an ankle injury. It was lovely. I thought, this is lovely. Didn't know what all the fuss was about.
I take it you told him.
Easy 2. That's a deep square. Runs are coming freely here for Tom Banton and Owen Morgan. Well over 300 on the cards here today, and a good pitch is a new pitch here at the Ageas Bowl. Fresh wicket. A little bit of nibble for the seamers, but looks a good pitch. That was the pitch we had the first
Maybe just give yourself a little bit of time in those first few balls to get in.
Very good, Nick. Oh, that's a big shot. Right out of the middle of that bat from O. Morgan.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Brilliant footwork from Morgan, shuffling down, turning it into a length where he can dictate terms. Lovely strike down the ground.
That'll be 50 for O. Morgan. The England captain has played nicely, coming in under a little bit of pressure. Ireland were bowling well, the ball was nipping around. He's been playing on a different pitch to most. 47.50 for O. Morgan, 239 matches, 1300s. And just the 39 balls today. He's played so good. How are you, Lydia? Anyway, welcome to the bubble.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, just getting to grips with all the rules in place down here at the OG as well. But no, it's good to be here. Good to see some live cricket as well.
Lovely credit.
Just toe of the bat. Should be a couple. So got away with that. Camphor, not the length you want to be bowling. 15 overs done, 96 for 3. Time to have a drink.
Can't have a penalty for that.
नींद नहीं आ रही है मुझे तो आपके साथ थोड़ा मैच देख लूं।
2 बज रहे हैं, सुबह स्कूल है, चुपचाप जाके सो जाओ।
कल आपका ऑफिस नहीं है क्या?
है, पर ये चैंपियंस लीग है। मेसी, रोनाल्डो और अग्वेरो रोज रोज नहीं खेलते।
एग्जैक्टली।
Watch the best players and clubs face off in the ultimate knockout. The UEFA Champions League returns August 7th, live on Sony 10/2.
क्या चल रहा है यहाँ?
The UEFA Champions League is brought to you by Expedia and Nissan, UEFA Champions League sponsors. Live cricketing action is heating up on Sony Sports Network as England takes on Pakistan. The party doesn't seem to be stopping. Can Root stand tall against Fahim's fiery swing? Or will Babar steer his side against Archer's pace? Join the frenzy, cuz the party has just started. Pakistan Tour of England, first test tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. live on Sony 6.
Live sports is now back again. Our love for cricket goes live again. And there's more football, UFC, NBA, WWE, only on Sony Sports Network. Watch it all live, only on Sony Sports Network.
Pakistan worthing first chance to march.
Owen Morgan has been playing beautifully. 52 from just 40 yards, the England captain.
Yeah, he's been brilliant today. He was challenged early on with some short stuff. He got away with that one. He's been pretty fluent. He's been strong down the ground. It's probably one of his most dominant shots. That's the shorter ball. Very much leading from the front. Morgan very dominant down the ground today. Can see that in his wagon wheel. The blue lines are all the boundaries, fours that he's scored.
He's one of England's cleanest strikers, actually. You obviously got Joss Butler, Ben Stokes, Roy Bairstow, well, nearly all of them. But I'd say Owen Morgan, for just clearing the fence, is one of the better ones. Where was it we saw him in the World Cup? Old Trafford against Rashid Khan and Afghanistan.
I think a lot of that just comes from his attitude towards batting. And about Collingwood talking about the team's values. Want to play smart, aggressive cricket. Want to put pressure on the opposition.
Yes, a good point. Because, in a way, the era that he's found himself captain in has suited his own agenda as a player. Owen Morgan, the batsman, doesn't want... The captains that before might have said, you know, good spinners on, take them at 4 and over. He would have hated that. He's a bit more, I think I can take them down, I'm going to go for it. If I want to run down second or third ball, I want to know I can do that. So that, not only is that the era he's in, but it suits his own game and it suits his captains.
Harry?
Oh, lovely. Good off spin from Andrew McBride.
Good tips.
Swept and swept hard. Big gap out there at mid-wicket. Brilliant batting again.
Yeah, very good from Morgan. Again, minimal movement. Ready to stay very still, stay in his crease. Just trust his natural swing. It's probably something that Ireland can learn a little bit from England, is just their willingness to take on the spinners. As good as someone like Adil Rashid has been, I don't think he's necessarily been under pressure the last couple of games. That's what we're seeing from Morgan. Just wanting to throw the punch early.
That's the point, isn't it? It's about the fact they're going so early, not waiting him to get into his rhythm for 2 or 3 overs, and then getting stuck, and then you go in to try on the big shot.
Right there.
Put the spinner under pressure early, whoever that is. Who have you been impressed with? I mean, you've obviously had Morgan today, but in the games before.
Yeah, obviously Morgan today has been very good. I think Billings has been good. There's been a lot of talk about him.
102 for 3.
I think the thing with Billings is that he's taken his opportunity. He mentioned that his mate Joe Denley unfortunately missed out, but it's the fact that when he's been given that opportunity, he's taken it. And I think the key for him now is doing it more consistently. I was chatting to you earlier at at the top of the show, and he's talking about how his setup now is just more consistent. He feels a lot more comfortable with it. So for him, it's about doing it game after game.
Wide, maybe? Going to get one of those eventually. This plan is really working for Camphor. In the first couple of games, he was herring in, trying to bang it into the middle of the surface. The keeper up, probably because of the short boundary, so it takes the short ball out of his game. For the right-hander, there's a massive boundary out to the leg side, so the keeper goes back.
Talking about Sam Billings and the changes that he's made to his game on the left back in 2015. A lot of movement in his setup. Compare that to what we see now in the series so far. Much more stiller. His hands are closer to him. And he mentioned he just feels gives him more chance to be consistent. The other interesting point about what he was talking about was when he's out of form, he feels it's something that he can work through much more easily.
So the angle is slightly easier to Morgan, he's just struggling. Oh! Not exactly where he intended it, but it races away. Another excellent over for Owen Morgan, another excellent over for England, 114 for 3.
It's a brighter day.
role for Tom Banton. Sometimes when your captain or whoever it is flying at the other end, you can just get them back on strike.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So saw quite a lot of Tom Banton in the Big Bash recently, playing for the Brisbane Heat. He opened the batting there, and that's where I think he's more comfortable against the new ball fielding restrictions. So I think this is actually a really good challenge for him. Find a way in the middle order.
Yes, pretty. All of that.
Excellent footwork and good use of the wrist. One chance.
Fire!
For a couple, top right-hand corner, just parried it into it. Well, Bernie, the man.
Yeah, it's a tough shot. He struck it quite well. Got two hands to it. Just wonder how costly this will be. Looks in good touch.
नो डाउट राशिद भाई ने 3 टेस्ट में 3 बार 5 विकेट लिए होंगे, पर मैं भी कोई कच्चा खिलाड़ी नहीं हूँ। अपने दिन पे बड़ों पे भारी पड़ जाता हूँ। अरे बैट्समैन से पहले मैं टीवी देख के बता देता हूँ कि बॉल लेग ब्रेक है या गूगली। ऐसी तो अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है गेम को लेके। देख लेना इस बार मेरी
So often as batsmen we feel that it's all about fours and that's when you're in good form. Sometimes you can get yourself a nick by just nicking the odd single. Give it back to the man who's in really good form.
Mark, he wants you a few to your right.
Yeah, that's so true. I think as a batter, you see at the other end, partners going really